Yeah, student, today I'm going to discuss the multiple choice question of the today's preparatory examination of Karnataka board. Let's see what the question is saying. The first question is that the expression for electric field at a point due to an infinite line charge is what? As we know that due to the infinite line charge, let's say this is infinite line charge, the electric field at any point E is given by lambda by 2 pi A into epsilon naught, where A is the distance. But here, at the place of A, the symbol R has been used. So we can say electric field due to line charge is lambda by 2 pi R into epsilon naught. And by using this formula, we can say that the option B will be correct. Okay. Now, the question 2 is when a conductor having cavity is placed in an electrostatic field, the electric field inside the cavity is zero. This is called, as we know, when the electric field in any cavity or in a spherical shell is zero, then it is known as basically electrostatic shielding. That means if there is no any electric field in a given region, then we say that this is the basically shielding process. So we can say that the option C will be correct in this of this question. Okay, as the temperature decreases, the resistivity of, as we know that rho is equal to what? Rho is equal to m upon ne square into tau. So we can say for metal, agar if we talk about metal, when temperature increases, this relaxation time tau decreases and hence resistivity increases. Okay, we know for semiconductor, when temperature increases, the n is a start decreasing and hence resistivity start decreasing. But here question is not asking with the increase in temperature. The question is asking related to decrease in temperature. So we can say when temperature decrease, here for metal when we talk about metal, when temperature decreases, then we can say resistivity will decrease. And for semiconductor, when temperature decreases, then resistivity will increase. So we can say that when temperature decreases, metal resistivity of the metal decrease and semiconductor will increase. That means option D will be correct. Okay, a galvanometer can be converted into voltmeter by connecting. As we know, the resistance of the voltmeter is very high. So if we want to convert the galvanometer into voltmeter, the resistance must be connected in series, and the resistance of the voltmeter should be high. So the value, the resistor that should be connected should be high, very high. So we can say that a very high resistance in series should be connected, because when we connect in series, then the resistance will go high, and the value of resistance should also be high, so that the resistance of the voltmeter will be high. So option D will be correct. Okay, question 5, pick out the correct statement about the magnet among the following. As we know, when we freely suspend a magnet, then it will align themselves in north south direction. So option B will be correct. Okay, Lenz law signify the law of conservation of. As we know, there are basically four main laws in the class 12th physics. That is Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, and not Ampere, basically Lenz law and Faraday's law. Related to this law, generally question is asking that on which principle these four law are based. ठीक? So here Kirchhoff's voltage law, Lenz law and Faraday's law, these three laws are based on conservation of energy, and KCL, only Kirchhoff's current law, is based on conservation of charge. So we can say Lenz law is basically based on conservation of energy, and must remember that Lenz law is based on conservation of energy, Faraday's law is also based on conservation of energy, and KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, is also based on conservation of energy. Only KCL is based on conservation of charge. Okay, the power factor cos phi is equal to 0 in an AC circuit containing. Remember that cos phi will be 0 only and only when circuit contains only inductor, or only capacitor, or capacitor and inductor. If there is only inductor, there is only capacitor, or capacitor inductor, then the phase angle will be 90 degree and cos phi will be 0. But if there is any element of the resistor is present. If with any other element, if resistor is present, then cos phi will be never 0. So in option B we can see the a capacitor and a resistor. When resistor is present, cos phi will be not 0. Inductor and a resistor, when resistor present, cos phi will not be 0. Only resistor, cos phi will not be 0. So we can say only inductor option, that means option A will be correct. Okay. Displacement current is the current due to changing electric field. Due to changing electric field, you must remember this principle, or this statement, that basically displacement current, that is basically given by the Maxwell, and Maxwell found that when the electric field in a region is changes, then electric flux is changes, and due to changing electric field, or due to changing electric flux, basically a new type of current is generated, that is known as displacement current. Okay. The graph representing the variation of the angle deviation with the angle of incidence is, angle of incidence in a triangular prism is, so for angle of incidence or angle of deviation, when we draw a graph, we will find the graph like this type of parabola. Okay. So in this question the figure is not given, but in your real question you will find a figure is given in the question. So you will put select the option in which option the graph is showing just like a parabola. Okay. Question 10. When light passes through a narrow hole, it turns around corners and enters shadow. Basically, this is the phenomena of diffraction. When light passes through a small hole or corners, then it splits into the geometrical shadow. This phenomena is known as basically diffraction of light. This is the definition of the diffraction basically. Okay. And if unpolarized light of intensity I naught is passed through the polar right, the intensity of emergent light is, when unpolarized light passes through a polar right, then its intensity become half. So this will be I naught by 2. So we can say option A will be correct. Okay. Now on the following table, the column 1 is the list of vagera vagera. Here we have to match the column. That means here is thermionic emission. Thermionic emission is basically due to heat energy. Field emission is due to by the electric field energy, and photoelectric emission is by the light energy. So we can say option D. Option D, 1 is going to R, and 2 is going to P, and third is going to Q. That means option D will be correct. Okay. In question 13, in alpha particle experiment, an alpha particle rebounds back along the same path. Then here the question is saying just like that case, suppose this is atom and this is a nucleus, and alpha particle is going just towards the nucleus and it comes back on the same path. Then what is the impact parameter and what is the angle of deflection, question is asking. So when returns back on the same path, then we can easily say this theta is equal to 180 degree. Okay. So in option A and in option D, theta is basically 180 degree. But here the term is impact parameter. Another term is impact parameter. So as we know, impact parameter is that suppose this is the central line, this is the alpha particle that is just moving towards the nucleus, and if there is another alpha particle, let's say just which is moving on this path, so the distance between the central line and the any line of the alpha particle, this distance is basically known as impact parameter B. So as the alpha particle is already moving on the central line, so we can say impact parameter will be 0. So option A will be correct. Okay. Isotones are the nuclei having same number of neutrons. Nuclei which have the same number of neutrons is known as isotones. Okay. An example for trivalent impurity. Trivalent impurity is basically group 13 element, and group 13 element is basically what? Boron hai. Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. So here gallium, indium, thallium or aluminium is not given, so we can say boron will be the correct answer. Okay. I hope you understand all these MCQs, and you understand the concept that I have explained in this video. And if you understand the concept, let's subscribe my channel and just एक कमेंट ठोको और लाइक ठोको. थैंक यू सो मच.